Nathalie Delprat is a scientist, I think, who is going to talk about art.
Yes. First of all, I would like to say that it's really a pleasure to be here at IMéRA in Marseille, where I studied at St. Charles University, not far from here, and where I did my PhD under the direction of a pioneer of our science, the composer and physicist Jean-Claude Risset. And today I want to talk to you about an interdisciplinary project called the Cloud Project, which is currently in progress at my lab in IMSI, and which aims to study the embodied exploration of an evanescent matter in the context of an interactive simulation device. And this simulation device can be viewed as an immersive installation for creative work and research on what I call virtual materiality. And on this video, you can see that the idea is to experience in real time virtual modifications of the body density through a cloud avatar. And in contrast to much related work on virtual matters, the experience of cloud avatar is not to play with a matter or to disturb a matter, to pass through a matter, but here the user's body virtually becomes the matter, and his avatar has material properties that depends on the physical characteristics of the simulated cloud. And this is the reason why you can see on the video that a cumulus will never walk like a stratus. And moreover, the real person who is walking will experience different kinesthetic sensations according to the cloud type, and the cloud matter will have significant impact on his movements. So in brief, I can say that the cloud installation offers the ability for experimenting an imaginary process in acting in reality, and offers the possibility for testing a new way of being a cloud. So what if you turn into a cloud? And this was a proposition we made to a large public during the European Research Night in 2011 at École Polytechnique. And I reported here some of the most frequent questions I have been asked, and which were: what is it used for? How does it work? Where do you get this idea? Is it art or science? And this one I like very much because a little boy, a 5-year-old boy, asked me, when will it rain? And it's the most difficult question to answer. So, how does it work? When it works? Because sometimes there are bugs, and I've collected some at the beginning of the video. It's okay for the sound? The device installation consists in a motion capture system, here a Kinect, an infrared camera, which performs the user gesture tracking and creates the user's skeleton. And si tu veux, c'était moins dense. Sorry, because on avait fait, il y avait moins de matière. This is the one. A particle generator is used for the cloud rendering, and this means that each point on the skeleton is not the right. Okay, sorry. So this means that each point of the skeleton becomes a cloud transmitter, and you can simulate different cloud type, and for each cloud type you can modify in real time the cloud parameters. This means its density, its distribution in space, and Here you can see a stratus. Before, this is was a cumulus. And perhaps I can... But là, j'ai le son à fond, mais j'ai pas de son.
Il va falloir voir ce qui est bien, pas bien, par rapport au rendu. Ça fait plus un effet de vapeur, là, de formation. Un peu, Nathalie, pour voir si tu peux arriver à le noyer.
We also combine different cloud types.
Ah, là, tu l'as effacé. Ça peut être intéressant pour l'interaction entre les deux et peut-être effectivement de faire un brouillard. Oui, ça c'est bien. Donc là, est-ce qu'on n'aurait pas intérêt à regarder encore un des gens là, en haut? L'échelle est vraiment très importante, hein. Ça fait pas du tout le même effet. Et il faut plus de vent là. Ou alors il faut mettre un effet de vent. C'est pas évident du tout. Là je monte. J'ai pas du tout envie. Alors pour celui-là, il faudrait désactiver cette main. Donc je la laisse comme ça. Faire une chose, mais il faut aller très très lentement.
So, as you can see, it works. But what's the idea behind this? In fact, the development of the project has been driven by the work of the French philosopher and thinker Gaston Bachelard, who made major contribution in the field of the philosophy of science, but also worked on the analysis of the imagination of matter in art and poetry, and specifically on what he called the material imagination. That is to say, the imagination related to the four elements. And my reflection about virtual materiality began when I joined the LIMSI in 2008, and when Christian Jacquemin, who has created an Artians thematics at LIMSI, VIDA, for Virtuality, Interaction, Design and Art, proposed me to participate in an art science workshop on technological simulation and artistic materialization of the four elements. And I immediately remembered a passage from the Hair and Dreams where Bachelard said, things matter, dreams in it, lives in it, or in other words, materializes the imaginary. And this is the starting point, this is core of the project. That is, how can this material imagination be translated in terms of on virtual materiality? I mean, it's not just a transposition, but the question is, how can the material imagination related to poetic images can be moved in the field of virtual images? Or in other words, to what extent virtual images can be adjusted to imagination and not only to perception? And if it is possible, can we experience what Jean Baudrillard called a poetic transfer of situation through a virtual body? In fact, this question concerns the exploration of an in-between state. I mean, between imagination and perception, like daydream or reverie, which intended to give rise to perceptual ambiguity and creative imagination. And I want to show you a short video to illustrate this. This is in French, but I have put it, the keywords, and I think we understand. So, up.
Tête en bas. Attends, je te remets la tête en haut. Elle est où ta tête? Est-ce que j'y suis? Non, il n'y a que toi là. Non? Attends, elle y est Nathalie là? Non, je fais la bosse en alignement. D'accord, alors. Ouais, moi je contrôle pas là.
Ouais, je te coupe et tout.
C'est pour ça que je bouge plus en fait. Moi je contrôle. Mets-nous dans la configuration toutes les deux stratus vent. Pourquoi il y a tant de monde là?
C'est pas bon ça.
Il me manque les jambes. Il y a un peu de les jambes là. Ah, c'est bon, j'ai récupéré un bras déjà. Parce que ça fait les jambes, après un autre, ça fait la main, le talon et les épaules. Est-ce qu'on pourrait avoir les deux squelettes? Donc quand je suis là, c'est intéressant ce qui se passe.
Qui n'est pas
Si je me mets dans le bon sens? Non.
You are shaking hand because
Il ne veut pas qu'on se serre la main, parce qu'il ne voit pas ta main. Bah, ça tombe pile sur les mains.
Et puis le milieu social.
Donc on pourrait peut-être mettre le zéro du son.
Donc il devrait être ici.
Ah, c'est les plus bas. Bon, je vais braquer ce ragon, je
Puis suivant quand on bouge, ça.
mais parce que tu vois, ça c'est pas possible dans le dos, ça marchera jamais.
Ça il doit pas vraiment.
Ça marche. Non, il y a un problème, je descends pas. Il y a un problème sur la descente pour moi. Ah, parce que peut-être qu'il voit pas ma main, c'est toi qui caches la main? Non? Non. Ah, ça y est.
La variété dans les ailes, je pense.
Ah, mais là, il est effacé. Non? Non? Où tu es? Si tu me passes devant, est-ce que je disparais là? Non? Tu disparais pas? Tu sors du stratus?
Ouais. Le stratus.
Non, je n'ai pas disparu. Si?
Ah non.
Et là, ça fait vraiment penser on est dans un nuage, donc ça est vraiment bien.
So it is clear that the cloud installation can be a useful tool to investigate unusual sensory feedbacks and emotional states, and also offers a new perspective on general issues in cognitive science, like bodily awareness and perception, self and space. And currently we are trying to analyze and modelize the cloud avatar experience from a psychological point of view. And we are also trying to design an experimental protocol for testing the possible influence of the cloud matter on the pain perception, in particular for specific pain, widespread pain such as fibromyalgia, with researcher in the field of psychology of perception. Well, it's just a preliminary study, but it seems to to give interesting results. Of course, the cloud installation can offer a new way to question the notion of presence, immersion, and identification in a virtual reality device, and also give us different kind of possibility to explore new modes of interaction and new modes of engagement into the virtual images from both the sensory and imagery sides. And for me, the translation from poetic imagination to a virtual materiality can define something I propose to call an augmented reverie with reference to augmented reality. That is to say, a dynamic reverie, virtually augmented or enriched through the embodied experience of the cloud matter. And before concluding, I want to show you two working sessions of my current work with cloud. The first one is about the working condition, and I just want to show some images about this working condition. So even for an avatar, a wall is a very hard condition, but when you transform into a cloud, but I think that, I'm sorry, the quality of the image is not, you can see the person walking in front of the avatar. No, sorry. I need to buy a new camera for filming in dark. So it's to show how to learn a cloud to walk, and it's different with a very compact, very dense cloud, or with a very reactive cloud like a cumulus. And also you can see the specific dialogue or conversational modes with the cloud avatar, that you have to wait the response of the avatar, and it differs according to the cloud matter. A zoom effect. And the second, I hope will be better. So the second is about my current work about augmented reverie. So. With two users, one is blue and one is white, and they will combine. I just want to point out that for the last combination, people who suffer from air sickness on a plane cannot move and are completely disoriented, and it's the proof that it's a very immersive environment, but it's not a 3D environment. It's only a 2D environment. And how much time do I have?
10 minutes.
10, okay. So first of all, I want to say that the cloud project is an interdisciplinary project. So it has benefited of the interaction and experience of many people, and many persons, and I want to thank them for their contribution, and researchers, students, and also volunteers for the testing the protocol, and also personal supporters. And to conclude, I want to say a few words about the most difficult question, the last but not the least. Well, is it art or science? And it's a very difficult question, so I decided to summarize it and use 3 quotations. The first one is from the French thinker Paul Valéry, who said, "Sometimes I think and sometimes I am." Well, in the cloud installation, sometimes it is art and sometimes it is science. Because at first, science is a dynamic process between art and science. And then, and it was not prepared with Harold or Anna, the second quotation is a famous one and concerns failure and adjustment from Samuel Beckett. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. And so for me it means that the path towards the goals matter more than the goal itself, and art science is a creative process through art and science, and sometimes it leads to successful realization and sometimes not. And the third quotation is a kind of homage, tribute to French Marseillais, un poète marseillais, Antonin Artaud, and it's also to balance with the previous one. And he said, "This is why I think about thought. Undoubtedly, inspiration exists. So try again and again." And art science is a very stimulating way to continue further and further in art and in science. Well, so.
I think that the word failure would be the leading word for this morning. It's interesting. One question. Where is Max?
This work with clouds evoke me some fantasia with Mickey in L'Apprenti Sorcier when he is a conductor of the waves. So my question is, you can use this system for extrapolating other state of water, for example, liquid water, and controlling waves also with movement.
Yes, of course. It has been planned, but I need some support and some funding to do this, and some students, and well, why not? But it's not a fantasy, I think, because here you can, the matter control the characteristics, the physical characteristics of the matter, controls the avatar movements. So it's not like a fantasy. It's imagination of real physical phenomena, I think. Thank you.
We have one more question before Maxime's. So,
can you tell us a little bit about the psychological experiments that you briefly passed by?
It's just a preliminary protocol.
I understand, but what is the idea behind it?
The idea is to, in fact, the idea is to try to quantify or to modelize, to modelize the feelings, the emotional states, the internal states when you are in front of the cloud avatar. And the researchers in psychology use what is called explicitation interviews to try to find the keywords and to try to modelize this phenomenological experience. But it's not an easy task.
What about you? What's your interest in it? The psychological.
Because I am a scientist, so I want to understand what happens.
So don't you think each person will have a different experience?
It's different from?
Don't you think that every person would have a different experience?
No, yes, there are some patterns in the behaviors. For example, very slow gestures and internal feelings of lightness and no, there are keywords, and so we think that the first results are promising.
Thank you.